Good shit.
My girlfriend's half Chinese and half Japanese. I'm cheating. It's fine. I know how to say all these names, you guys. Look coming to the stage right now, y'all. It is the one, the only Iwan.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yeah, last Sunday was a Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, me, I got super drunk. And I was like, oh, it's Cinco de Mayo today? I don't understand why it's so hard to, make a woman orgasm, right? You would think when a man and woman have sex, they would orgasm together, right? But no, not even close, right? So you gotta do all these things, basically go down on them, But it's not an easy thing, right? Because nothing sticks out of a vagina, you know what I mean? You gotta reach in there with your tongue and shit. It's like lapping up a puddle of water through a hole. Oh fuck! It's like lapping up a puddle of water from a small hole in the between three boulders and shit, right? You're like you're there for 30 minutes and shit. It's like a fucking part-time job, right? You got fucking hair all fucking itchy in your face and shit. You're down there, you're like, God, hurry up! What do you think about baseball or something? Fuck. And finally she comes, and you're like, woo! You're welcome, baby. Yeah, the other day I was driving around and I got pulled over by a horse cop. Yeah, it's crazy, I didn't even know he was there until I heard this woo, woo. It wasn't an alarm either, it was a horse making that sound. Yeah, one of my Muslim friends, he doesn't eat pork and shit. So he's always trying to pork shame me, He's like, oh, gross, you eat bacon and sausage. I'm like, man, I'm Korean, right? We eat dogs, right?
Oh, peanut.
Earlier this year, scientists reported for the first time 2 male humpback whales having sex. Yeah, Hollywood's already going to make a movie about it. Yeah, they're going to call it Humpback Mountain. It's weird how language changes over time, right? Today, if somebody came up to me and told me he was going to blow my brains out, I wouldn't know whether to run away or to pull my pants down. I was watching a show about General George Armstrong Custer and his famous last stand at the Battle of the Little Bighorn. I was like, Little Bighorn? That's gotta be euphemism for penis, no? Little Bighorn? Here's my bighorn, and here's my little bighorn. Yeah, doctors are so full of shit, you know what I mean? Even back in the days, right, in the 20s, people didn't trust eating hamburgers. And so when White Castle came out, they hired a bunch of doctors to sit in the restaurants eating hamburgers and shit. And so people were like, oh, I guess eating hamburgers are healthy, right? Eating hamburgers is healthy. And then in the 50s, doctors were selling cigarettes. Newspapers and magazines, even TV commercials. See doctors like, oh, I'm a doctor, so I smoke Camels. That's such bullshit, right? Because doctors know better. And then now the newest doctor scam going around is that whole prostate rectal exam thing. That's such bullshit, I've heard 100 different prostate rectal exam stories. They all end the same way. They didn't find anything. If it's so important, why don't you show me what to look for, and then I'll stick my own finger up my own ass, huh? How about that? But, oh no, we can't have that, can we? Why, because you need a medical degree just to find a bubble up your butt? I'm telling you, my intestines aren't the only thing full of shit around here. The NFL has one Asian player, and he's a kicker. Could you not find a more racist position for this guy? He's gonna go out barefoot in a karate uniform. Yeah, O.J. Simpson died a couple weeks back. That was pretty crazy, right? What was even more crazy the way he crashed the internet. Yeah, the second he died, basically half America got online and was like, who the fuck is O.J. Simpson? I was watching this Bigfoot show the other day, and it struck me as how devoted these Bigfoot hunters were, They're so dedicated to something that might not even be real. Like comedians in their careers. Yeah, April 4th is a new national holiday. It's now National Burrito Day. That's pretty cool, right? And the very next day, April 5th, is now National Toilet Clogging Day. Hey, did you hear about that boat that crashed in that bridge over in Baltimore a couple weeks back? That's pretty crazy, right? It crashed in the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Kind of ironic, right? Like, oh, say, can you see? There's a giant fucking boat coming! Yeah, it said the boat came from Singapore. I I was like, ah, crap, Asian driver, you know. Yeah, on the news they said the boat weighed 200 million pounds. It's pretty damn heavy, right? It was actually even heavier before. It was actually 300 million pounds. But my ex-wife, she got off the boat right before it crashed. Yeah, I was watching the Oscars a couple weeks back. Towards the end, I was getting excited, right? I was like, hey, look, it's Al Pacino. Then I saw, I was like, oh no, oh no, I messed it up. Look, they're bringing back the Mummy, but it's Al Pacino. Yeah, I was in the United States Army, 1st Cavalry, 4th Division. It was pretty cool, you know. It was weird being the only Asian guy, though. Like, every day, people were just looking at me like, are we supposed to shoot this guy? I was talking to this, I had this really bad haircut a couple weeks back, and it was really bad, you know, like, you have a haircut so bad people start treating you differently, you know? Like, this guy must have a learning disability or something, look at him. You know your shit's fucked up when waitress at Denny's tying a bib around your neck. Yeah, I know, so a lot of anti-gay cultures are actually quite gay. Like Arab culture, for instance, right? They're notorious for being harsh on their LGBTQ, yet Arab men openly hold hands in the street. You know, how hypocritical is that, right? They're like, don't act gay! La 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 la. And Russians too, right? They're like world famous for being violent towards their LGBTQ. But I was watching the Olympics once, and this Russian gymnast, after he did his jump thing, instead of high-fiving his teammate, he kissed him on the mouth. And it wasn't just a peck either, they were like really going at it. Like, we don't tolerate the homosexual in Russia. Come, Vladimir. Very strange. It seems like I noticed men in other cultures enjoy a level of intimacy with each other that we just lack out here, you know? And I have seen it a little bit, right? Because I was in the army, you know? Like, the army is very anti-gay. Because it's so gay. And you're constantly surrounded by other dudes, and you're like mostly naked, or just sometimes totally naked, right? Like, the shower is a perfect example, right? There was this one guy, he'd be in the shower every time with a rock-hard boner. You know, the policy at the time in the army towards gay people was don't ask, don't tell, right? Nobody had to ask this guy if he was gay or not. He's all knocking over shampoo bottles and shit. You know, it's shocking, you know, you walk in the shower room, you're like, what the fuck? At ease, soldier! In the army, you're supposed to be hardcore, but not that hard, not that core. Here's a new story I got. You know what really scares cops more than anything? It's the sound of broken glass. Yeah, one time I was living in this really bad neighborhood, and the cops had the whole neighborhood like blocked off, right? And so I'd like park up the street and like kind of walk in. And then when I'm getting close to my house, some dude just grabs me, right? I'm like, what the hell, right? And he's like a plainclothes detective guy, right? And he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I freaking live here, you know? And he just like says something to me, right? And it's like totally pisses me off, right? So I get home, you know, I go to my fridge, I grab beer, I'm starting drinking, you know, I walk outside, I'm like watching, you know. And after I finish, I'm like, man, fuck those pigs, right? And I throw it and it breaks, right? As soon as it shatters, every cop fucking like stiffens up, and you can see they're all like getting nervous and shit. Within 5 minutes, they were all out of there, you know. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, get out of my neighborhood, it's my neighborhood. You know, I did that, but anyway. But yeah, it just goes to show that any big problem can be solved with a bottle of beer. I'll tell this story. The day I met The Rock, right? It was around 2015. I was at the DMV in Hollywood with my buddy. We were getting our licenses renewed, right? We're waiting in line, and he's like, hey, you see that guy over there? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I think it's The Rock. And I look at him, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so, right? But then he smiles, right? I'm like, you know what? Maybe, you know? And I look around the room, and like, everyone's like looking at him and pointing at him and shit. And you can feel this excitement building in the room, right? And like literally every second, it's like building. And at one point, some girl screams, it's The Rock, right? And everyone's like, whoa, shit, right? Anyway, it's, after a while, I go to get my picture taken, and then he cuts the line, right? He cuts right in front of me, you know? And he's like standing like right in front of me, just looking at me, right? You know, I could ask for a handshake or autograph or anything, you know? But I was so starstruck, like I couldn't do anything. All I could do was just stare at him and go. And the only thought in my head was, that's The Rock. That's The Rock. That's The Rock, right? And I just couldn't do anything. And then he was looking at me like, whatever. And he went and got his picture taken. And then after that, a bunch of people were coming up to him, getting autographs and stuff and all. And he was like, so cool, you know? I was just watching him like, man, you could just tell that he's so happy that everyone's being nice to him, you know? I was like, you know, if I ever see The Rock again, I'm gonna go right up to him and go, if it's The Rock, I can't help myself. All right, I'll end with this last joke. You know, comedians will always tell you two things, right? They'll always tell you when they get booked on a show, and they'll always tell you when they just had sex. Yeah, it's a bit juvenile, right? Like myself, I haven't been booked on a show in like over a month. But I did get late last week, so hooah! Alright, my name's E1 and I'm out of here. Thank you.
You want to everybody, fuck yes. Fuck yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations on finally fucking getting laid. Okay. Maybe you'll get booked now. Who knows? Maybe the sex will translate.
There you go, yeah.
Inshallah, brother. All right.